to our first podcast. So today I was going accompanied by one of my friends who's come fuck with Papua to talking about English as a foreign language for the learner in the rural area. So please welcome Rian. Yay! Hi Rian, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you feel?
I'm good too, thank you. So what have you been doing lately? I hope that I didn't bother you at your busy time when I asked you to join our podcast.
Yes, it's fine. I'm just busy at college as you as well.
I see. So Rian is one of the students in ELASP who's just come from West Papua. He just lived in Jogja since he was in college. He spent his school years from elementary school to high school in West Papua. Today we are going to talk a little bit about Ryan's opinion about EFL in rural area. Rian, do you have any idea what we will talking about later about this topic?
Well, probably you're gonna ask about my opinion or my perspective, and also most of it is you're gonna ask about my experience. Is it true?
Yes, you can talk it like that.
Oh, okay, okay.
Then I think that's a short introduction about you, and now let us start about our discussion. And I
Okay.
think the audience has been tired of waiting, right? So Rian, I want to ask your opinion about what do you think about EFL is?
So based on what I have known that English as a second or foreign language is the use of English by speaker with different native language. So in my opinion, I can say that if you didn't have mother tongue or mother language of English and you speak English, it means that you use EFL or English as foreign language. Especially if the after the before you say that it's about EFL in the rural area, right? Yeah, I think that's about if you don't have mother tongue and about mother tongue of English and you speak or you learn English, it means that you use EFL as your foreign language.
I'm when I'm a little bit curious. I keep wondering about this when I heard you talk in English, whether it is in our class or it is right now in our podcast. Is it your English is very good? I'm thinking is English your mother tongue because you speak very fluent and you are very confident when you talk in English, and I'm jealous. I'm jealous
Okay.
with that. I want to be like you. I want to be able to talk in English like you.
No, so honestly, English is not my mother tongue or my mother language because my mother language is Indonesian because I was born and raised in West Papua and it is in Indonesia. So, but it's something kind of slightly different with Indonesian. Most of the Indonesian people that speak perfect Indonesian, because in Papua we speak a little bit different, maybe because the dialect or the accent like that. So, but if you ask my what is my mother tongue, and my mother tongue is Indonesian.
I see. So I think it's about my a little bit curious about. And now let's get back to our discussion. Um, in your opinion, what makes EFL learner in rural area are different from EFL learner in capital area?
So I've been read one of article that mentioned about there are big difference and almost all over the world, rural area and all over the world. The first one is the development of the government. Yes, it's a big difference because the capital area and rural areas have a big like something kind of slightly different government, and I think density of population, employment opportunities, amenities, limited teaching resource, and disturbed environment of the class and using other language in the classroom. But I want to say about if it's you ask from my experience, I can say that one of the most big difference is because we using other language in the classroom. Okay, and doesn't mean other languages in it's Indonesian, but it's about our dialect, our accent, because we don't used to speak English in almost every class or almost every subject in the class. So I think they are the most big difference like that.
Is it more undeveloped than in capital area or what?
Well, it's I all I can say that rural area is less undeveloped, but yet more unfacilitated than capital area because, like, I have already said before that something kind of like limited teaching research and also disturbed environment of the class. That's something kind of that. That's some of the factor that make it maybe undeveloped more from the capital area.
Oh, so I think I can also relate to this problem too. As for your information, I was also came from a rural area.
Oh, where do you come from?
I came from West Kalimantan,
Oh,
to be
okay.
exact, in Tumbang Titi.
Oh, I see.
And as far as I can see, the development of EFL learner in my area may be lagging behind, because based on my experience, when my cousins ask for help when to teach her English, she she just asked me to give her the answer. She only thought that English is not as important as other lessons. And I'm curious, are there any problem based on your experience? Like in my experience, the problem is that my cousins thinks that English are not as important as other materials.
Yes, I agree with you. In some of my friends also think that English is less important than any other materials because they see English as something kind of like, yeah, maybe I don't know why, but some people have a different mindset or different perspective about English. So, but I've read some kind of I think if I'm not mistaken, that is some Lincoln research from one of the expert researcher that he there common problem that happen when that makes the EFL learner in rural area is undeveloped and capital area is because narrow-minded, lack of motivation, lack quality of the educators to not well equipped classroom or facilitation, and non-attendance and lack of finance. But if you ask for my experience, I can say that one of the most big important thing is lack of motivation. That one of the big important factors that I think they something kind of like didn't have in any intention, any good intention or any spirit to learn English because even some of my friends, it is something kind of a little bit funny because I think it's funny because some of our friends think that English is more difficult than math than
Ah.
mathematics. I think wow, because I'm kind of student who love English since I was junior high school, and I think it is kind of weird for me because English is yeah, made that, but back again, that's every person have their perspective or their own mindset. So I think if the if we say they have narrow mind, I think it's not. They didn't have narrow minded because they have a good ability, they have good skill, they have good potential too. But it's something kind of just like that I already said before, that lack of motivation. That's all. I think that's all the one of the main problem that make the AFL learner in rural area more undeveloped than the capital area.
I think I could agree with you too. Even now, when we are in college, and probably we also feel the same problem like this
Yes.
in lack of motivation.
Yes, it's true.
And I think this is a common problem that every student in Indonesia have. And this, and I mean, the teacher should encourage their student to have specific short-term goals. Like for example, in when they lack motivation in learning English, the goals can be communicating with English speakers or reading books in English to give them motivation in learning English.
So I agree with you that if you can say that same motivation like us because I also feel the same. Even it didn't start just in college. It's already started in high school.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah, like it's something kind of the lack of motivation.
So, can you give us any solution or strategies that needed for this problem?
Okay, so I also read some article because some of this research is very good and they provide some kind of strategies or solution like first like make an awareness of narrow minded, but I already said before that people from rural areas they actually didn't have narrow minded, but they have good potential. So it just all problem is just motivation. So we had to increase motivation, educators training. It is also important and facility development and increase the amount of financial assistance because financial assistance is one of the most important thing to maybe provide or give. It's also a strategies good strategies to make the EFL learner in rural areas develop because something kind of we know that some teacher salary or educator salary is yeah kind of a little bit low like that. And I just want to say that actually they already have very good potential, but there is some problem like lack of motivation. I just want to make it clear that they didn't have narrow mind, but they also have a good potential, good skill actually, because if you found some kind of people or in rural from rural area, especially from my area, they actually have a good pronunciation actually, because I don't know why, but because maybe they grown up with some kind of like uh English song or American song, like some kind of that, so they have good pronunciation because they're really really good at listening. So they listen, they maybe, I don't know, in the brain they're copy or they record it in the brain. So that's why they have a good pronunciation actually, they have good potential.
Okay. So I think from this conversation, I think I can conclude that students in rural area are far from being big cities, are very good with ability to talk English, right?
Yes, that's true, that's true.
And it's just like, however, they just need some little encouragement,
Yes,
motivation, and interesting learning methods
yes, yes.
to make them more willing to learn English, right? And English is not as difficult as one might think, and as long as you have enthusiasm and curiosity, as well as continuous practice, you can master English as a foreign language. Alright, Ryan, what do you think when I asked you as the speaker for this topic? Do you feel nervous, or do you or feel something?
Well, actually, I didn't, kind of a bit nervous actually, but because it is maybe the first time I speak in front of camera and some people watching it, I think that's the reason why I'm nervous. But I think I what make me feel, I'm kind of happy too, because finally I can share my perspective and I can share all of my experience. So maybe, yeah, something kind of like that bad stigma in the society or in people like that have for people from rural area have, maybe after this it can change like that. So we have a good potential, we have a good skills, we have a good ability, and we also have a spirit, but something kind of like motivation, we need to encourage something from ourselves. So that's all the problem. But if we talk about our ability, yeah, I think we can actually, we can.
Okay, so I think that's all for our discussion today, guys. And thank you so much, Rian, for
You're
coming to
welcome.
our podcast. And thank you for all of you that have been listening to our podcast.
Thank you.
Okay. And if you're a student from a rural area and you have the same problem with us, you can give your opinion on the comment section below. And you can also find our Instagram account in the description box. And don't forget to share, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.